when Paul pled with the Lord again and again to remove what he called a thorn in his side, he was eventually answered. And that answer was, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." With this newfound perspective, Paul found that he could actually feel a sense of delight in this chronic condition, whatever it was, because he knew it was the means through which Christ's strength could reside in him. In fact, he even said that he would gladly boast about his weakness, so that, in his words, Christ's power may rest on me. Are there thorns in your life that you feel if only they were removed, then you could be happy? Do you ever say, "I just have to get through today," or "I just need to get through this, and then I can rest, then I can be at peace"? Or do you tell yourself, "When I'm 100% healthy, when I have that job, when this relationship works out, then I'll be content"? Or how about, "If I only knew how it was all going to turn out, if I just had the answer to what I'm looking for, then I'd finally be at peace"? Paul certainly didn't get the answer he was looking for. His trial didn't end. And yet, in a letter he wrote to the Philippians, of all places from a prison cell, Paul said, "For I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation. Whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want, I can do all this through him who gives me strength." So, what's the secret to being content in any situation? Perhaps it's trusting, as Paul did, in the process, in recognizing that everything is as it should be, and that the journey is just as valuable as the destination because God is always present. Think of it this way. When the sun distributes its radiant warmth to the earth, it does so indiscriminately. But the surface of the earth in its beauty has variety. Some spots have water, others have different soils and different elevations, and they all absorb heat differently. This creates spots where some air is hotter and rises, leaving pockets of low pressure. In cold spots, the colder, denser air falls downward. And since nature is obedient to God's law, it continuously seeks balance. Thus, the cold air swooshes into the pockets of low pressure to fill them with denser air. And this is how wind is created. This process of seeking balance between highs and lows can create massive destruction, or it can give us an infinite source of power we can harness to sustain and promote life. Much like the wind, God's blessings don't flow into our lives in spite of our highs and lows, but because of them. And likewise, we're not meant to remain in one state, high or low, but rather to draw on His strength and find the balance, and through that process, discover the peace and power that comes through balance. Like Paul, may I suggest that we use language that reflects a sense of delight and joy even in this process. The next time you're thinking, "This is too much, I'm overwhelmed, there's way too much to do," say, "I'm doing one thing well at a time," and repeat as necessary. And remember that even Jesus had to increase in wisdom and strength and favor with God and man, little by little, year after year. And when you find yourself thinking, "I just have to weigh the right amount on the scale, I just need that job that pays enough, or that relationship to work out," or whatever it is, instead stop and tell yourself, "I don't need things to be happy. With Christ, I can be happy right now, in the moment." And if you're depressed or anxious because you can't see the end from the beginning and you just feel like you need that answer before you can be at peace and rest, try using one of my favorite phrases, which is, "It's all figure outable," because it really is. the more we draw on this wind power, this breath of life, the more that sustainable energy illuminates, grows within us brighter and brighter until we truly comprehend all things. Brothers and sisters, this life isn't about getting to the finish line, to that point where our home is clean and the kids are well behaved and we have enough income or the physical abilities we desire, the relationships, whatever. Yes, we should desire and focus on good things, heavenly things. But remember, it's in the balance between the high and low that we are blessed with strength and power. So I challenge you this week, instead of seeking to change things, seek instead for the gift, the secret of contentment. Trust that everything is as it should be and will be. And the more we do this, the more his arm is revealed, and the more he can create even more balance, more equity, more harmony in us and through us for the benefit of all his children. Because balance truly is how heaven flows to earth.